Peace, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Lady Breon. Again, I am the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Avenue Black Arts and Entertainment District, and we are responsible for the Black Artist Fair, which you are here for, that is powered by Comcast. So I want to thank you so much for joining us, and I'm super excited for what we have in store for today. It's going to be an awesome experience, just like it's been for the last 2 days. And so before we jump into our resource hub, which is going to be presenting all sorts of resources for creatives in Baltimore by some of our amazing institutions and individuals who are doing great work to build the creative landscape of our city, I want to start with reading a grounding statement and also a commercial by our headlining sponsor, which is Comcast. I want to also mention our other sponsors, Do More Baltimore Collectively and BCAN, the Baltimore Creative Acceleration Network. And so in celebration of our headline sponsor, let's actually start with the commercial from Comcast.
So Brick Rose Exchange is an art gallery and meeting space in Baltimore. And we created this space because we wanted to have events that would change the world with the people who come into the space. So we're very inclusive. The services from the Comcast RISE program will not only just help Brick Rose Exchange, but it'll actually help other businesses in the neighborhood, right? So we're really excited about an initiative that we're rolling out around corporate retreats and being able to invite those companies that won't be returning to their offices a space that they can celebrate their staff, they can celebrate their wins, celebrate their initiatives, and really take a pause at the end of the day and say, wow, we did this. It means tradition, it means legacy, it means being my ancestors' wildest dreams. And I'm just really excited and hope that the work that we do here continues to not just make an impact in the Baltimore community, but somehow, some way, someone is inspired by our mission and our message. What my pride and joy is at Brick Rose is the Resident Artist Program. We work with local artists to feature them in our galleries. So if you know anything about the art world, most artists aren't made and known until they get into galleries. So we've given local artists an opportunity to be featured here. I just think that for any BIPOC person who's looking at the application, who's wondering whether or not they can win, whether or not it's real, fill out the application, do it because it's totally real. I would say for any BIPOC person, you definitely have to apply for this program.
All right. So for those of you who just joined us, again, this is our resource hub. And I want y'all to make sure that y'all go check out ComcastRise.com and apply. They have some great services for you all. And they're especially trying to make an impact right here in Baltimore, which is one of the reasons why they were looking to support the Black Artist Fair and our resource hub. So y'all make sure y'all get connected in so that you can get those services that they are providing. Now we're going to jump right into things. I want to start us off by reading a grounding statement that we have been reading at the beginning of everything that we've done, just so we can all be centered and on the same page. So allow me to do that now. Welcome again to the Black Artist Fair presented by Comcast and the Black Arts District. The Black Artist Fair is designed to connect Black creatives from the greater Baltimore area to resources and services to further enhance their crafts and their creative practices. We recognize that often Black creatives have less access to develop throughout their careers. So this space has been curated to provide quality opportunities for growth, to challenge the ways racism and white supremacy has impacted Baltimore's creative community, and to develop strategies to make Baltimore a more culturally equitable space. We invite you to network, to question, to challenge, to listen for understanding, and most importantly, to build with us. Thank you and welcome again to the Resource Hub. At this point, I am going to turn it over to our amazing program coordinator, Candace Handy, who is going to be running our Resource Hub. Please plug in, make sure you ask your questions, and get connected to some great resources. Thank you again.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Candace Handy. I'm the program coordinator here at the Black Arts District. Today, we have some amazing resources for you. We have some people that are going to talk about the things that they do and offer to the community. Just give us a couple seconds and we will have everything set up. First up, we have Molly from the Highlandtown Arts and Entertainment District.
Thanks, Candace. Hey, everybody. I'm Molly McCullough with the Highlandtown Arts and Entertainment District. I think I have a presentation coming up if Candace can pull it up for me. We are a program of the Southeast Community Development Corporation, and our Arts District incorporates 3 neighborhoods: Patterson Park, Baltimore Highlands, Highlandtown, and the Crown Cork and Seal complex right next to the Patterson Park. Candace, do I have slides or should I just continue?
You have slides. I'm trying to pull them up. I apologize.
No problem. There we go. So I guess I'll just go from here. Perfect. So we're one of the largest arts districts in the state, and we have over 275 brick and mortar businesses, which includes 9 art galleries and almost 60 bars and restaurants. The next slide, please. But the flavor of our district is really made up by the 65 artists who are living or working in the district. Our business owners and neighbors are really from all over the world, especially Latin America. And as you're going to see in some of my next slides, we have over 35 creative placemaking installations in the district that we've been working on since 2014. So next slide is some of our anchor venues. You're probably familiar with the Creative Alliance and the Patterson Theater. The Southeast Anchor Library also is one of our great partners. And then some of our galleries include Highlandtown Gallery, Night Owl Gallery, Y Art Gallery. We also use Patterson Park as an outdoor event space. Next slide. So some of our signature events that happen in the district include the Great Halloween Lantern Parade and Festival every October, and the Parade of Latin Nations that marches down Eastern Avenue every September. We also do a lot of events in December around the holidays, and then every May we host a mariachi fiesta. Next slide. And I invite you to join us every month for our first Friday art walks. The next one is coming up this Friday, May 7th. It's a time when our art venues, our galleries, and our restaurants host pop-up events or open their exhibitions. And we love to host vendors and makers from all over the city. So if you're interested in being paired up with one of our venues, please let me know. Next slide is an example of some of our public art. So the bus stop is a stop on the MTA's link number 21. It's right next to the Creative Alliance, but it's also a sculptural piece of sculpture that we like to add art to whenever we can. You might see the lights, the lanterns across Eastern Avenue in front of the Creative Alliance, and then a few other bus stops that are structural. There are pieces of sculpture in the district. And then the next slide is some of our murals. So we love being able to add murals to in the commercial district. The most recent mural that we just installed was this summer at the Corona Grocery. And our next slide is resources that we have available for businesses and art studios. One of our programs is a merchant renovation fund where we can help businesses with interior and exterior renovations. We've worked with 5 storefronts in the last 2 years. And then the next slide is related to our studio spaces. So the Crown Cork and Seal Complex has over 100 maker spaces in it. The Creative Alliance hosts an artist residency annually, and then there's a lot of studio space to be found above our retail stores, so second floor studios. The next slide is if you're interested in looking for a space in the district, we have available buildings for sale or for rent listed on our website. We can help match you up and to take a tour of some of those. You can also follow us on social media, of course, or send me an email. And that's all.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mara Dwyer with the Station North Arts District. I'm a program coordinator. Station North Arts District is a program of Central Baltimore Partnership. Thank you, Candace, for the slides. We are made up of historic Barclay, Charles North, Greenmount West, and Baltimore's first Koreatown on the unceded land of the Piscataway Conoy Nation. And you can go to the next slide. Here's just an overview of who we are. SNAD was one of the first arts district in Maryland designated as an arts district in 2002, and Central Baltimore Partnership is a 10-year-old nonprofit with over 100 partners. Next slide. Here's a map of our district. So we go from 20th down to close to Penn Station, from Howard Street over to Greenmount. Next slide. Here's a quick summary of activities before the pandemic, just to give you an example of what usually happens in the district. We're really lucky to have festivals like Artscape and Pride and Asian North, Mixtape, the Maryland Film Festival, the Black Femme Supremacy Film Festival at the Parkway and Ratscape. And looking towards the future, once those festivals are active again, we're looking to support performance stipends with partner venues and expand vending opportunities within the district's footprint as a way to support artists participating in these citywide festivals that are usually hosted in overlapping spaces in Station North. Next slide. I wanted to shout out a few of our anchor venues, like Molly shouted out for Highlandtown. Why Not Lot is on the corner of Charles and North Ave, and it's our main green space. We get a lot of asks about how to host events at Why Not Lot. So if you go to our website, www.stationnorth.org/whynot, you will find a button there that says apply to use the space. Typically, we ask that folks reach out about a month before their event, and you do need to get a special event permit. We will guide you through that process. There's also a shipping container with event equipment. We're soon renewing our tent supply, and there's also a PA set up to support a DJ and music. And we also support with promo and any other site-specific questions with our Why Not Law coordinator, Abby Becker. And I can share that email with you as well. But if you reach out on our website on the Apply to Use the Why Not Law application, that's a really good first step. And we are booking shows and events there this summer, as long as folks are in accordance to the city's health guidelines and go through the permit process. Next slide. Another public space, a huge asset in Station North is the Graffiti Alley. This is a public legal spray painting spot. It's really popular for photo shoots. Please come and use it anytime. It's right behind the Motor House building on 120 West North Ave, so you can access it from Maryland or Howard Street. And this is a newer space in the district, Blue Light Junction. Please check them out at bluelightjunction.com. Co-founded by Kenya Miles. It is a natural dye studio, alternative color lab, retail space, and dye garden and education facility. They've been doing natural dye education programs on Saturday afternoons and hope to do a lot more programming this summer. Just this past weekend, Friday and Saturday, they had an online natural dye symposium with some incredible panelists from Korea and other parts of the country here talking about natural dye. So if you're a maker and you're interested in collaborating on alternative dye solutions, please reach out to Kenya Miles at Blue Light Junction. And so these are a few of our maker hubs. You can find them all at stationnorth.org/venue directory. We have links to all of these places. I'm sure folks are familiar with them in this community. But Made in Baltimore is used to have a storefront in Station North, doesn't anymore, but has an incredible online presence with more than 200 makers and a majority minority and women-owned makers as well. OpenWorks, Station North Tool Library, Baltimore Jewelry Center, Baltimore Print Studios, and Impact Hub, our incredible incubator space for entrepreneurs and makers. Next, studio hubs too. We have the Motor House, which has the second floor is all dedicated to artist studios. So please reach out to Motor House if you're looking for a studio. It's best to get in touch with the director, Camille, to kind of see what's available. OpenWorks, Oliver Street Studios, which is in Greenmount West, Cork Factory, Copycat, City Arts, and Area 405 are all studio hubs. If you are looking for a studio space, you can reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat. It'll also be on the last slide. And I can help facilitate to look for space, but also I encourage you to directly reach out to these venues. Next slide. And I just want to do a double shout out for Motor House because they're such an incredible partner and artist support network in our district with Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance, Maryland Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts, Arts Every Day if you're a teaching artist, and Maryland Citizens for the Arts for arts advocacy are all on the third floor of the Motor House and are incredible resources for artists for financial and legal and advocacy. And Central Baltimore Partnership, this I really want to shout this out, the technical assistance for small businesses. Please go to centralbaltimore.org/Muldrow Fund to find out more information about this and reach out to Jack Dana at jdana@centralbaltimore.org. There's a lot of detail that goes into this, but it's essentially a fund that helps with facade improvements, tenant buildups, and a Charles North Investment Fund. So we do one-to-one matching grants for storefront rehab, historic design features, install new signage. We just did a project with Waller Gallery to upgrade their signage and make them ADA accessible. And we also do technical expertise with architectural design, project packaging, site analysis, and developing business pro forma and marketing assistance. Sometimes it's through CBP, Central Baltimore Partnership directly, and sometimes it's through partners. So if you're looking for support in growing your business in Station North in Central Baltimore, please reach out to jdana at centralbaltimore.org and check out this website for more detail about that fund. Okay. And this is just some photo highlights from past events, so we can skip that just to give a flavor of what festivals look like in Station North. And this is the Artist Income Tax Incentive, which you might have already heard about. Just to I linked here to MSAC's, Maryland State Art Council's website, where you can find a lot more information about it if you qualify, if the income that you've made qualifies, if you're a performance artist, if you're a contractor, if you've commissioned any work, that income from that commission within any of the arts district is, you don't have to pay tax on that in the state of Maryland. I took advantage of it this year. I encourage everybody to look into it at MSAC. It's also, you can find it on SNAD's website under tax credit to find more info about it. And Maryland State Arts Council recently expanded the definition for what kind of artist constitutes a quote unquote artist that can benefit from this tax credit. So please check it out. And the next slide. Just a few more photos of events at Why Not Lot and Station North over the past few years. And next slide. I have 2 more slides to go. Station North Shines. This is a series of art walks. Similar to Highlandtown, we love the idea of an art walk that's cross-district, that's really collaborative, that kind of uplifts all the amazing things venues in our district are already doing. Unfortunately, they overlap this week, this Friday. I think in the future, we're going to coordinate so we can complement each other's events and encourage more artists to participate in them citywide. But please do check out our art walk this Friday. We have some amazing, a world premiere of a theater production, an art opening at Why Not Lot, and a really incredible interactive exhibit at Baltimore Jewelry Center, and a lot more. So please check it out at stationnorth.org/news to register for that event. And for the future for art walks, we would love to do a collaborator stipend where artists can apply to do street art, perform, have vendors at the Why Not Lot. We're also always looking for food vendors. Anything, we'll have more information about it where you can apply for small commissions to participate more actively in upcoming art walks. Next slide. And this is part of that art walk is a Why Not Lot commission. So this is a commission of 12 emerging artists were commissioned to make artworks responding to the heritage of Station North and the 3 historic neighborhoods there. So you'll see that this Friday, there'll be 12 new pieces along the fence at Why Not Lot. And we hope to make that a reoccurring and rotating exhibit to lift up the varying voices of Station North and really show off the incredible 2D artists that have a connection to the district and are responding to their role in the district's legacy along the fence line. It'll be up for 3 months starting this Friday. And last but not least, Station North Holiday Market was something we had planned last year, but we are postponing it to 2022. We are going to have some leave some space for Station North-based vendors, but we are going to open it up to all artists across the city. So there'll be 14 vending booths. We're going to waive the vendor fee. It will last winter, we had planned on doing it multiple weekends. That is kind of subject to change as we figure out the logistics, but it will be around the holiday. It'll be in a closed space, and we are really excited to relaunch it and reopen the application for vendors and have our first Station North Holiday Market next winter. So look out for that. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Hey, everyone. So really quickly, for those of you who are watching on Facebook or YouTube, first of all, thank you for joining us. But also, this is a time where you can ask some questions that you may have for our arts districts in the city of Baltimore. So go ahead and post your comments, your questions, and we will put them up on the screen. And if we don't have any questions, I just want to kind of start us off. A lot of people I've learned, just in being a community artist, but also in just talking to folks, still don't know that there are arts districts in Baltimore, right? And so I guess, in your opinion, what is the one thing that you want folks to know about us arts districts in Baltimore? Let's start with you, Molly. What's one thing that you just want folks to know about us?
Yeah, well, you're right. A lot of people living in the arts districts don't even know that they're within one on their daily basis. So I think that we've seen the power of arts to bring communities together, especially during COVID. There's so much that we can do to activate our neighborhoods through art. And so providing economic opportunities for artists within the districts is our function, but it's really then a way to connect communities together.
Thank you. All right, Maura, what would you say?
Yeah, agreed. I want artists who are looking for resources, looking for grant funding, grant writing support, studio space. Space is a huge issue, and it's something that we as a district, as a creative placemaking entity, have a role in navigating, especially when artists feel like they're not sure how to navigate development or real estate, or we're talking to property owners, or navigating something like a tax incentive. So providing those like financial, legal, and real estate support is a key role, and I'm really happy that to be invited here into the space and just put a face to a district, because this is part of it. It's just like reaching out to an individual and saying, hey, I need some help.
Awesome. So I guess another thing is, I guess I'm thinking, how can folks who are creatives in Baltimore, like how can they support y'all? Because I know there's a lot of support that arts districts provide, but how can artists or creatives or entertainers actually support the districts? Let's start with you, Maura.
So one thing that I would say is follow us on social and interact with us. If you like something, if you comment something, I would be like, ooh, I'm going to follow you back. And then we know to reach out to you. We know about your work. We can add you to a directory. We can channel if we get asks for hire for, occasionally folks will reach out to our team and say, hey, I'm looking for this specific kind of art or this commission. Do you have anybody in mind? And I'll say, look to this directory or look at this artist. So interacting on social media, getting in touch with us just so we know who you are in the district, getting familiar with you so we can add you to our network is always really, really appreciative. And just reaching out is always helpful.
All right, what about you, Molly? Thank you.
Yeah, I totally agree. We love knowing who's active within the district and being able to know if they're opening their studios for tours, to know if they want to come out onto the street for an outdoor market that we're hosting. We also love when people tag us on social media because it helps us build our reach. And we know that sometimes for our events, people might just be getting familiar with an artist and they might follow up for a commission. And so those connections are really critical. And it's just really important for us to know who's active in our district.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. All right. So we're going to be transitioning very soon to our next presenters. Any last comments, ladies? We didn't get any questions, which is cool. Some people watch this after it's happening, so there's always engagement afterwards. But for the time being, any last comments that you all want to share before we move on to our next presenter?
No, I think you know how to reach us both, and we're happy to take follow-up questions whenever they occur to you.
Perfect. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Shout out to Station North and Highlandtown Arts Districts, representing the 4th Arts District in Baltimore City. I know it's a lot of work to maintain an arts district, and I thank you for all the work that you do to help build and maintain the creative landscape in our city. So thanks, ladies.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Camille Kashaka. I'm the Executive Director of Motor House here in Baltimore in the Station North Arts District. Shouts out to Mara for that fantastic presentation and for featuring us a bunch of times. Thanks. So our mission is that we're a creative crossroads rooted in the culture of Baltimore. We're a nonprofit arts hub, gallery, performance space that encourages new visions, bold experiments, and emerging voices to celebrate the artistry of Baltimore. You can move to the next slide. So, yeah, I really want this presentation to make you all feel that we are approachable, that you can come to us. I think my email was in the previous slide. I'll also put it in the comments on Facebook. But reach out to us. We're always happy to meet new people. I'm always happy to have a Zoom conversation with anybody. Motor House's vision is that we're striving to cultivate future generations of artists by facilitating unique opportunities for socially conscious programming, presentation, resource sharing, and performances, and dynamic forms of artistic expression. That's who we want to be in Baltimore. Next slide, please. So we have a number of programs. Some of the ones that I featured is our Digital Artist Portfolio Program, which we call DAP. We just finished the 3rd iteration of this program. It's a professional development incubator for individual artists. So if you're an emerging artist and you need help with tuning up your resume, you need help with creating a press kit, you need high quality photos and high quality video of your work and yourself. We give all of that to you, and we answer any questions you might have. We put you in touch with people. We have a grant writing workshop that's usually headed by Jackie Downs over at BOPA. We have 2 social media programs, one about content creation and one about just using it as a marketing tool. We also have exhibits in our gallery, and right now, because of COVID, it's limited admission, but we still do 6 to 8 exhibits annually. So hit us up if you're a visual artist and you want to propose a show. And then we have the Anti-Racism Book Club, which is a bi-weekly book club, but it's not just books that we read. We watch movies, we talk about different events that are happening. I just saw there's a very active Facebook group, and I just saw that Tim Cook is part of the discussion. So join the Facebook group if you're interested in joining the Anti-Racism Book Club, and tell your friends about it, everything that we do. Next slide, please. So we depend on our partners for a lot of our programming. One of our partners is the Art of Comedy and the Baltimore Comedy Festival. The founder is Ivan Martin, and he is an integral part of the Motorhouse team, not just as a partner, but he also is an employee. We have Evolve Saturdays, Be More Than Dance uses Motorhouse. Rapid Lemon Productions is one of our resident theater companies. The Asia North Festival that's happening right now in Station North. You can walk down the street, down North Charles, and I think North Avenue, and I think North Charles. You can walk down both streets and you'll see artwork in the windows of different businesses. And then During the Spotlight Productions, which is another resident theater company. Next slide. We have a bunch of spaces in our building. We have a black box theater. The West Bay is a small performance space that has a small stage, and it has nice lighting. It is attached to our showroom, cafe, and bar. So you can come, you can have a drink when we open up. You can come, you can have a drink. You can see comedy in the West Bay. You can go see a play in the theater. You can see all of the artwork that we have in our gallery. And if you're an individual artist, we have studio spaces on our 2nd floor. And we have office spaces on our 3rd floor. We're currently searching for digital artists to take up some space on our 2nd floor. So if you are a graphic artist or an animator or some other type of content creator that is digital, we want you in Motorhouse. So hit us up. Next slide, please. So in the building, we have a ton of artists, and I won't go through this whole list. They're all on our website. But we have an incredible roster of resident artists and an incredible hub of arts organizations on our 3rd floor. Mara also mentioned a number of them in her presentation, but basically anything you need, we have it in our building. So again, I feel like a broken record, but hit us up. Next slide. Oh, that's it. And I failed to put our contact information in the slides, but I'll put my email address and how you can reach us online in the comments on Facebook. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. So for those of you who are listening, if you have questions or comments for the Motorhouse, this is your time. You can definitely put them in the comment section, and we will put them on the screen so that the lovely Camille Kashaka can answer. But I will talk with you just in case we don't get any questions or comments now. As I mentioned, sometimes people do not watch this in real time, so we don't get the comments in real time. So one of the questions that I have is, I don't know if you mentioned this, but you talked about the professional development incubator. When's the next one happening? Like, are y'all doing them virtually, or are we waiting until, the world opens back up a bit more? What's happening with those?
No, so we just finished the third iteration of it. What happens is about every 3 months, we bring in a cohort of 3 or 4 artists. And the cohort is made up of who applies. So the last one was a dancer, we had a music producer, and we had a trombonist dancer that split trombone and dance. It was incredible.
That sounds cool.
Right. But the first time we had a fashion designer, a chef, and a visual artist. So it's a really fluid program, and we sort of tailor the program to the needs of the people who become a part of it. I don't know the exact start date of the next program, but we'll probably start accepting applications in the next month. But all of that will be on our social media.
Okay. All right. So listen, y'all, already make sure y'all go to @Motorhouse Baltimore for their social media so that y'all can link into that professional development incubator. Sounds like an amazing program. As far as your gallery space, you mentioned that folks can, hit you all up to present. Is there like certain kinds of artwork or artists that you all have a preference for, or is it just like anybody? Like, how does that process work for people to present there?
I don't think we have a preference of who presents there. We definitely are always looking for Black and BIPOC people to exhibit, but like, it's also mostly 2-dimensional art because of the nature of the space. But if you come and you say, I do sculpture or I do pottery and I have a vision for your space, I will listen.
Yes, vision. Yeah. Okay. All right. I love it. Okay. So how do you all have a bunch of space still available? I know you all have studio space on your upper floors. Is there a lot of space still available? I'm just curious for folks who may be looking for space.
Right now, the space that we have available is for those digital artists.
Okay.
We don't have any space for like a painter or, whatever other type of art that you do. But that changes at the drop of a hat. I thought we weren't going to have space for the next 10 months. And last week, 2 spaces opened up. They also fill up really quickly. I should say we have a waiting list, though. So don't wait to contact me if you're in need of space. We have a very robust waiting list, but it's first come, first serve. Whoever responds to me first and turns that lease in gets that spot.
All right, y'all heard it first here. If y'all need space, y'all need y'all a studio, y'all make sure y'all are reaching out quick, fast, and in the hurry, because these are hot commodities and they're going quickly. So y'all make sure y'all reach out to Camille to get your spaces. All right, one more question, and then we will move on to our next presenter. So my last question is, what's up next for Motorhouse? Anything happening? I know the world is really weird and wonky, but do y'all have anything coming up next?
We do. We're dipping our toe into in-person events.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Y'all heard it here. Okay.
So actually, I'll put Tori's email in the Facebook comments as well. She's the one who does our rentals. But May 7th is opening night for Rapid Lemon Productions' new play. So you can buy tickets on our website or through rapidlemonproductions.com. Please forgive me if I got that website wrong. And then we also are going to open a new exhibit on May 13th. I also don't know if that's right. Well, I think it's May 13th. So yeah, it's May 21st.
Okay, May 21st.
It's the Cole Scuttle's Legacy exhibit, and it's curated by Kai Vassar, who is a huge friend of Motorhouse.
Perfect. All right. So we do have one question that just came in. Do you need to send an appointment for a tour? Or I guess a better question is, are y'all giving tours?
Yep. Happy to give a tour of the space anytime. Just send me an email and we'll set it up.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Camille. Y'all don't know, but Camille is like a sister of mine. We both went to Howard University, and I love her dearly. So thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you for the work that you're doing in Baltimore and the space that you are providing via Motor House. We really do appreciate you. And yes, we bid you adieu and hope that you enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. All right, so we are going to jump right into our next presenter. And so yes, Candace, can you cue up our next presenter? Carla, you ready?
Oh, yes. Awesome. Thank you, Candace and Lady Brianne. So before I dive in, I just want to give another big thank you to Candace for coordinating the Resource Hub and to the team at the Pennsylvania Avenue Black Arts District for organizing this space and offering a space for me to share this presentation today. My goal today is to spread awareness and inform you about the Neighborhood Design Center services and specifically our Art Space Technical Assistance Program, which began operating at NDC a little over a year ago. So, Candace, do you have my slideshow? Cool, thank you, perfect. So for those who are not familiar with us, the Neighborhood Design Center is an organization that was founded in Baltimore over 50 years ago in 1968, and that has been partnering with communities to envision and build great public spaces ever since. So in addition to those public space projects, in our new Art Space Technical Assistance Program, we offer pro bono architectural design support directly to Baltimore's creative community of artists, musicians, performers, crafters, and etc. Our goal with the program is to support the preservation of existing DIY spaces and the development of emerging art spaces. Yes, this slide's good. So now, what is architectural design support exactly, and what does this mean for you? So in any building renovation or space renovation or new construction, usually there's like a team of architects and engineers that come work together alongside the client or future building occupant to determine the building's function, how people circulate and flow through the space, how the building performs in the event of a fire emergency, and how the various systems of the building all work together. So these systems are things like mechanical and how the space is warmed and cooled, the plumbing system, how fresh water is brought in and how used water exits the space, electrical and how much power the space will need and its lighting demands. So all those systems are things that engineers typically look at and architects will coordinate. So yeah, there's really multitude of these building systems that need to come together in order for a building or space to function. And I kind of like to think of these systems on like different layers of trace paper. And when you overlap them, there aren't any conflicts, ideally. So with that in mind, I'm going to share a project that we worked on this past year that I'm hoping will help put this program in context and give you an idea of how the program could support any possible projects that you might have brewing in your mind. Next slide. So the project I'm going to talk about is Blue Light Junction, which actually Maura from the Station North Arts District mentioned earlier. So yeah, as Maura mentioned, it's an indigo dye studio space owned and operated by Kenya Miles. Next slide. And yeah, so whereas some projects may not have an existing space to work with yet, and maybe you're shopping around in Highlandtown to buy that space or in Station North, this project in particular already did have a space to work with. It was previously an auto body shop. As you can see in the images, it's very open. It has 2,380 square feet of space. It's pretty much a blank canvas. But so since it was previously an auto body shop and now it's going to be a studio space. We're looking at changing the use or the function of the building, which kind of brings up a new set of requirements for the space. So the conceptual design process, it was very much a collaborative effort between myself at NDC and with Kenya. She brought to the table her knowledge, her very thorough knowledge of the indigo dye process and all the equipment that process requires. And so in the concept design, we kind of layered Kenya's desires and needs for the space from that indigo dyeing perspective with building modifications required by International Building Code and the local jurisdiction here in Baltimore City. So we proposed modifications for ADA accessibility, improved tenant separation since it does have a shared wall with another tenant on the other side, and just an overall interior retrofit to better accommodate the process of indigo. Slide. Ooh, can you play the video, Candace, if possible? Yeah, so this is kind of a rudimentary but fly-through view of the concept that we came up with. So at NDC, we modeled the existing building in SketchUp, so you could kind of get a feel for what it might be like walking through the space. And yeah, as you can see in this video, we proposed some like new partitions to divide the space for like different functions. Yeah, I think at the end it'll go back to the overview. Yep. So yeah, as you can see in this view, we took like previously kind of like the blank canvas space, divided it up. We have like the workstation area on the right with the large indigo dyeing vat and work tables with like a plug-in heating, what are they called? It's like a heating pad so you can have like smaller scale dyes, and then ADA bathroom in the corner where the plumbing's coming into the building. So yeah, that's kind of like the concept design we landed on. So yeah, I don't know if this like kind of like might spark your imagination if you're like thinking about rearranging your existing space or dreaming up a new space altogether. NDC would definitely love to help support you in your efforts. And my email is kbrent, BRENT, at ndc-md.org, which that email should also be on our website if you need to revisit it later. Next slide. Thank you. That's everything.
Thank you again, Carla, for all of that information. And let me just say, as an artist who focused on the literary and spoken word, the video of the space and all of that really just blew my mind, because it would take me 1,000 years to be able to create something like that. So it was really, really awesome.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it.
It was super cool. So, you know, again, if we get questions from those of you who are on YouTube or on Facebook, we will put them across the screen and we will ask them live. Otherwise, I'm just gonna, you know, talk with you about a few things that I heard in your presentation. So first, if, you know, I have a space and maybe it's a, you know, a space that I'm trying to retrofit for whatever I'm working on, how much would it cost to work with you all at Neighborhood Design Center for this technical assistance service?
Yes, it's a pro bono program, so it's no cost to you, but because it's like, I think the money trickles back to federal funding. But I guess something to keep in mind is the concept design we produce at NDC, it's a very preliminary stage of design. So sometimes project partners will take that concept and use it in a grant application to help fund the next stage of design, whether it's like a permitted drawing set that they submit to the city or construction. But yeah, it helps. I think the program helps get it like to that first step.
So I'm not sure if those of you watching heard, but this is a free service. Pro bono means free, y'all. So if you have a space or you are looking to create a space or you have some ideas that you need help working through, Neighborhood Design Center, R.E. Carla, okay? They are here for you to help y'all get your ideas into something that is more actualized, helping you to manifest those things on paper. So when you're applying for money or all the other things that you have to do, bringing together your team to actually build this space out, they can help you with that. All right. So y'all make sure that y'all are connecting to NDC because it's free, y'all. So another question that I have is, does through the same program, say there's a project that may be a little further along, they have they may have their developers, they may have an architecture firm, whatever that they're working on, would you all be willing to serve in a consultative capacity? Maybe the folks who are like looking to actually own the space, they just want to be able to bounce ideas off of folks before they bring it to their more professional team. Do you all serve in that role at all, or have you ever done that?
Definitely, yeah. If you just, because it can be a commitment, like paying for an architecture firm. Mm-hmm. So if you're like not quite there yet, or you just want to have, like kind of gear up your knowledge of what to expect, mm-hmm. I would definitely be happy to talk to you, kind of bounce some ideas around. Yeah, definitely.
That is amazing. Like, this is a really awesome service that I know for myself, like, well, one, I'm a poet, so I probably wouldn't have been thinking about building spaces much, right? But I think about a lot of artists who they do have, sort of DIY spaces that they're trying to make more functional, or, they are with a collective and now they actually need a space and they need help with these kinds of services. So I think it's amazing that you all are providing this. One last question is, do you all have any partnerships, say, with any city agencies or maybe other technical assistance programs that may provide like some of the other, like, for example, and I don't know if this even exists, so I'm really just asking just to see. But I know, when you are building spaces out, you have to make sure that things are up to code and you have to do all these things. And I know there may be services that are provided at the city level with different agencies. Like, do you have any partnerships in that regard if people come up against other issues that they have to fix in their space, especially if it's a DIY space, whatever? Do you have any kind of relationships with other agencies or institutions that can provide additional support in addition to what you all are doing as far as helping them plan out the space?
Yeah. So DIY art spaces are interesting because they kind of end up existing in this gray area where the people, that are building the space, they're doing what they think is right, but oftentimes there's these other just requirements that just isn't common knowledge. Within NDC, we try to answer that. We're kind of currently building a relationship with the city's planning department. Mr. Patel, Sean Eames, the fire chief. I recently got a chance to network with them. So I foresee definitely leaning on them a lot for, some very maybe specific questions that might come up.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. Any last thoughts that you want to leave our audience with about NDC or this particular program before we let you go?
Just email me if you have any ideas. We're definitely, I like that. I think it was Camille said that it was her goal to say Motor House is approachable. And I similarly want NDC in this program to be very approachable. So feel free to reach out, and thank you, Lady Brianne.
Absolutely. And I encourage you, because some people are watching here, but then folks are engaging on social media. So if you want to post your email right directly as a comment. That will be super helpful for folks who will be watching this later so that they can connect to all of these real good services. So thank you so much, Carla. I appreciate you, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So we are going to keep this thing moving. It has been amazing so far. Thank you all for everyone who has watched thus far. We're going to keep it moving. Next up, we have an amazing brother who is doing awesome work in our creative community. His name is John, and he is working with the Love Groove Music Festival, y'all. And they just did an amazing show. Black Arts District had the awesome honor of being a small sponsor for. And so I would love for you to talk a little bit about what you've done thus far and what you have coming up. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you for joining us, John Tyler.
Thank you, Lady Breon, for that wonderful introduction. I hope everyone is enjoying the sun and enjoying this showcase. You guys are just amazing, and I really commend you for doing what you're doing, because it's really awesome to be able to give people access to resources and education, because I know for me coming up, I didn't have that. So you guys, I'm honored to be here, and just thank you for doing what y'all doing. Hello, everyone. My name is John Tyler, 21-year-old artist, founder of Love Groove Music Festival. I'm gonna share my screen really quickly. So I'm gonna give you guys the backstory of what Love Groove is, what we plan to be, and what our future is. So to give you the backstory of Love Groove, I have to kind of give you the backstory on myself, because they tie together. So I'm originally from Holmes Heights, which is like a little 10 block all black neighborhood, directly in the center to, Hamden is on the left side, Roland Park's on the right side, and we're directly in the middle. Coming up in this neighborhood, they played a lot of blues, they played a lot of R&B, hip hop, soul type of stuff, and I gravitated towards skateboarding, which led me, at the time, they wasn't hit the skateboarding, they black people wasn't skateboarding at that time, so I caught myself in Hamden and Roland Park, where I skated with the white kids, and they introduced me to rock music and punk and pop and all these different things, which was a whole new world for me. And Guitar Hero 3 just came out, and I got so good at the game that my grandma bought me a real guitar, and I caught myself coming up and being in all the different scenes. So I was in the rock scene, I was in the hip hop scene, alternative jazz, even some of the Latin scene. And the one thing I realized with every scene is that everyone kind of didn't like everyone, and it didn't make sense. So you would never see the rock kids with the hip hop kids, or the hip hop kids with the alternative to jazz, and so on. And for me, I love them all. And I looked at other cities like Atlanta, where you have artists like Childish Gambino, Janelle Monáe, Gucci Mane, Young Thug. Atlanta supports each other no matter what genre they are, no matter what part they come from. They showcase themselves as a unit. And I wanted that for Baltimore. So we came up with the idea to have a festival of having every single genre onto one stage, which brings every single community out. And also coming up, there wasn't much opportunities for us to showcase our work. So that's another reason why we started the festival. And we've been doing it for the last 5 years. It's been amazing. We actually started at Motor House. I want to shout out Motor House for being the first to believe in us. And yeah, we just had our all women's festival showcase, was what Black Arts District was a part of. We are planning our 5th showcase, which is going to be this summer in August. This is going to be the first festival where we're partnershiping with Hot Sauce Arts Collective, where we're going to be showcasing visual artists from photography to sculptures to paintings and muralists to anything visual arts wise, along with the music. And I'm super excited for this festival. We're currently looking for businesses and artists to be a part of. We have an application on our website where you can apply to be a part of. So if you know someone, if you have a nephew, if you have a niece, a wife, a husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, a friend, whatever, that's an artist, from illustration to photography, videography, set design, architecture, we want them a part of it. And we commend you to please send them our application. We're also looking for sponsorships. So any businesses here that want to be a part of it, you can also apply on our website or reach us at contact@lovegroupmusicfestival.com. Everyone made a slideshow, and I wish I made a slideshow to show y'all the email, but that's okay. And that's pretty much what we have coming up. And I just want to thank again Black Arts District for being amazing and being so awesome and really giving people the resources and education on how to be dope. So thank you again. And my name is John Tyler, and we'll see you guys at our August show. And thank you.
Thank you so much, John. So really quickly, let me just say this background, okay, is giving me life right now. This whole setup back here is giving me all of the artsy vibes that I need, all the music feels. So shout out to your backdrop right now.
Yes, it's a vibe.
Yeah, it's definitely a vibe. I mean, it's like, because you got the colors happening, but then it's the actual like fact that you got albums just like on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I have a few questions, much like everybody else. But before I jump in, anybody who is watching on Facebook, on YouTube, if you have questions, if you're trying to get connected or learn more about the Love Groove Festival or John Tyler, make sure you drop a comment and we will put them on the screen and ask your questions in real time. All right. So do you have a date yet? I know you said August. Is there a date yet in August for the next festival?
Yes, we it's planned for August 28th, and we do have a fundraiser showcase on June 5th. That's not announced yet, so this is y'all hearing it first.
Oh, okay. Listen, we got the inside scoop, y'all. We the first ones to know. So y'all make sure y'all support. What was the date again? June
5th and
June
August
5th.
Yep, and August 28th. Those are both Saturdays.
Okay.
They'll be, we're going to announce it in a few weeks.
Okay. So in June 5th, you said is going to be sort of a fundraiser for the larger event that's happening in August.
Yeah, so we actually filmed the documentary for the Women's Showcase, and we figured we should just do a fundraiser and have a screening outside, have like an open mic and a cookout. And I miss cookouts. That was probably one thing I missed that the pandemic took from us, and we're gonna bring that back. But it's gonna be limited, so it's first come, serve.
I love it. Listen, I'm here for a good cookout. I'm on a keto diet, though, and I don't eat most meat, so y'all need to have like a veggie burger or something.
Oh yeah. Everybody vegetarians now, so we got you.
Okay, listen, it's a vibe now. We worried about our health. We are trying to make sure we preserve these temples so that we can help to preserve Baltimore's creative scene. So yes, we all out here vegetarians now. Dope. Okay, so June 5th. Definitely making sure you're going to be doing that screening. I definitely tuned in to the last festival. Definitely saw there was, like interviews with the different artists and all that kind of stuff. So I know it's going to be amazing. So you're young, like you are young out here, like making a huge impact in Baltimore. Like what keeps you going, like doing this work? Because you could be out here doing anything. What keeps you going to be wanting to have an impact in Baltimore the way that you are?
I would say the people, because for me, I would have loved, like it's similar to what you guys are doing. There was no opportunities. No one showed us the keys on how to do things. There were no performances. Like there was nothing. And really, I don't want any kid behind me to have that same experience. I want there to be opportunities for them to showcase their art, for them to express themselves. Because I know for me, I'm weird and alternative, and I know it was hard for me coming up here. And I just want to make a platform for people to really showcase who they really are, and that's really what keeps me going is the people and the city.
I love it. Shout out to everybody right now in Baltimore's creative community. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are amazing. Exactly who we do it for. Okay. One more question. So I heard you mention hot sauce. We definitely partnered with hot sauce last year to do a pop-up. We did it right next to the Harris Market Center on Pennsylvania Avenue. It was a month-long pop-up. We did it every weekend, and it was such an amazing experience. And so I understand that as a part of this festival, Hot Sauce is also going to be one of the, I guess, co-curator, because are they gonna do like installations, outdoor installations for it, or?
Yeah, so we're actually going full in as a partnership, from planning to how it's gonna look. And yeah, their event at your district actually would caught my eye to them. And I had to reach out because I was like, oh man, we had to do a collab show. And yeah, so we're planning it together as far as how it's gonna look and everything. And I think it's gonna be great.
Oh, I know it is, because Hot Sauce is amazing. And like I said, the pop-up that we did, it featured several different artists, they all came with different perspectives. We had some live performance art happening. Like, it was crazy. Like, he had it was like flames everywhere. And it was
oh my gosh.
Yes, it was like
that is insane.
Amazing like performances and art showcase. I mean, it was great. So I know it's going to be amazing. Shout out to you again, John Tyler. Y'all can see the contact information below. Make sure you reach out, especially if you are a music artist, if you could be a part of the tech crew to help put this on, if you're a visual artist and you want to get connected to Hot Sauce, who is also helping to co-create this event. Y'all make sure y'all are plugged in, because this is going to be amazing. The Black Arts District is absolutely going to make sure we support you all yet again, because we want y'all to keep doing this work. As a young brother making waves in Baltimore, we support it 100%. So shout out to you. Y'all make sure y'all check it out August 28th, as well as the fundraiser leading up to it on June 5th. Y'all heard it here first. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for everything, and I appreciate you. And it's great to meet you too.
Yeah. It is good to see you. All right, everyone. We are going to move on to our next presentation. For those of you who are just joining with us, again, this is our resource hub. We just want to make sure you're connected to all the amazing things that are happening in Baltimore. Because like one of the things that John mentioned is when he was coming up, he didn't know about all the resources that were available to him. He didn't know the showcases that were happening. He didn't know the curators in our city. We want to make sure that y'all can get plugged in and know who's doing what in our city. We have 4 arts and entertainment districts that all have a robust district of resources, of spaces, of hubs that all are here to provide all the things that you need as creative practitioners in Baltimore City, whether you're an entertainer, whether you are a maker, whether you are a performing artist, no matter what you are doing, there are spaces that are designed to support you. And we want to make sure you know where they are. And so that's what we're doing here. We're going to go to our next presenter. Our next presenter is coming from Justice Connection, Ms. Keisha A. Brown. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to give you the floor now.
Cool. Thank you so much, Lady Breon. It is a pleasure to be here, and I'm so excited to see you in this role. You are killing it and just leading with excellence. So my name is Keisha Brown, and I'm the founder and CEO of Justice Connection. I decided to be outside. It's such a nice day, y'all. So I'm outside and enjoying, the space that we have. But Justice Connection is the only Black lawyer referral service and legal resource platform in the country. So when you need a lawyer, better yet, not even if, but when, right, you need a lawyer, we want to be your link to a Black lawyer. So as a lawyer myself, I started out at the Legal Aid Bureau, right down there across the street from City Hall, where I represented non-custodial parents who owed large child support arrears, and really learned about child support being a really integral wheel in the cog of poverty. And so I wanted to create something that really connected the Black legal community with the larger Black community, right? I feel like from the minute I started law school, I had people asking, hey, Keisha, do you know somebody who does family law? Do you know somebody who does criminal law? And as a Black lawyer, I would say, sure. And I would go and try to find someone and make that connection. And we as Black lawyers, we're knowingly leaving our communities most vulnerable in a system that we know historically and continuously marginalizes and oppresses us. And we needed to do better by our community. right? There are other legal referral services out there, but one, they don't primarily promote Black lawyers. That's what we do exclusively. And we also utilize technology to make that legal matchmaking process more efficient and effective, right? So when you go to some of the others who will remain unnamed, but when you go to them, you put in family law, Baltimore City, and you get 821 hits. And I believe that people didn't want or need 821 choices. They wanted something that was more personalized to them. So we examine your budget, we examine what your issue is, where you're located, and try to provide you with some resources, what questions to ask to start the conversation, and allow you to make those connections with a lawyer that meets your needs, right? So as burgeoning business owners, as folks who are creative spirits, you too have a responsibility really to protect, right, your property, which in some cases is all up here in your mind, right? Your creativity, your intellectual property. Sometimes it's work that you've created and creating trademarks and things of that nature. But most of all, it's really about developing a relationship with a lawyer who can provide you guidance and counsel as you progress in your business, right? As you progress as an artist, as you progress in growing that creative side of you that isn't necessarily linear, right? It's not always going to be that one thing that is cookie cutter. And so sometimes, to get by, you find a template and you go with it. But there's nothing like being able to connect with someone who can understand who you are as a person, begin to learn your business, your vision, and be able to advise you accordingly, right? And so that is what a Black lawyer can provide for you, right? It's not always about paying thousands of dollars. It's about developing a relationship. Even when I needed a lawyer at one point, I paid for a consultation, right? Because that was something that helped me be able to be prepared to make the best possible decision for myself, right? And so being able to seek that legal counsel is very important, and knowing where to go is critical. And so I won't talk too long. I know it's Sunday afternoon, but we always want to be a resource to you, whether it's being able to provide some general information or be able to connect you to a lawyer. And remember, just because you are thinking about it and you sort of dabble with, hey, let me reach out to some folks, it doesn't mean you have to hire them tomorrow, right? It doesn't mean that you're bound to sign a retainer agreement, but it's good to be able to start the process of exploring who is someone that I can go to if and when you need a lawyer. So that's who we are, and we're here for you. You're linked to a Black lawyer justice connection.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brown, for speaking with us about Justice Connection.
Call me Keisha.
Keisha. All right, Keisha.
Yeah.
You
don't know me, girl. You went to my birthday party. I don't know if you remember. Years ago, not too long. I'm not that old, but you did go to my birthday party, and it is so good to see you. You look amazing. You're doing amazing work, and I'm just so proud to be able to support your vision in any way and those of the great artists of Baltimore.
Absolutely. So, sometimes we try to, switch our hats. Okay. So we wear that personal hat and then we wear the executive director hat. And I didn't know which hat you prefer me wearing in this moment. But Keisha, girl, thank you so much for presenting with us, for talking about Justice Connection. And so, like I told our other presenters, we are doing this live. And so we have some folks on Facebook and YouTube who may have questions. If they do, we will put them across the screen and give you an opportunity to answer those questions. If we don't get any questions in, I'm just going to ask a few questions just to have a conversation with you. And then we will, bid you adieu. So first and foremost, you mentioned, Justice Connection is the only Black legal reference service, right? And I'm curious, why is that important, right? Why is it important to have specifically a Black, a referral service for legal services?
Yeah, well, there are tons of, no, not tons, but there are a number of lawyer referral services online that you can go to, right? You type in and they connect you to a plethora of choices. And let me tell you, those billboards that you see on North Avenue and on the highway, they essentially operate as referral services as well, right? They don't take all those cases. They put themselves out there as this name and this jingle for you to remember. And then when you call, if they don't take those cases, they farm them off to their friends, right? Their friends oftentimes don't look like us. They not from our community. They don't invest in our community, and they don't buy from our community, right? And so being able to connect with a Black lawyer, obviously the great part about us being able to support each other, right, is vital. And Black lawyers go right into that buy Black pool, because they also need clients, right? They also want to build their business. And when Black lawyers succeed, when they are able to have more clients, they're able to hire. And then when they hire, they're going to hire somebody that looks like us. And that's how Black law firms grow, right? We don't actually have a national Black law firm. People often think of the Cochran firm, but Johnny ain't here anymore, right? And so we need to start thinking about how do we grow the capacity of Black lawyers. And for me, it's a key element to increasing access to justice, right? And when you have a Black lawyer, you automatically really get someone who's culturally competent to be able to connect with you in a way that you don't have to spend your time, your resources sort of explaining, right, certain elements about yourself and your background. It's why, quite frankly, I love like the Thanksgiving memes or whatever, anything that Black Twitter puts out there that's always right on point, right? That we all sort of connect to and can relate to, because there is this commonality amongst us. And so Black lawyers are able to tap into that and say, Lady Breon looks like my cousin. Such and such goes to the same church. We grew up around the same neighborhood. And so that connection, that familiarity almost always guarantees that you're getting 150% of that person's effort, because it's personal, it's closer, it's home, right? And so I'm always inspired when I talk with Black lawyers and hear about how they go above and beyond for their Black clients, because that's just what we do, right? And so having a Black lawyer is just, it's priceless, right? And it's one of those things that we want as a people, and now we have a resource to make that happen easier.
That was like poetry. I appreciate that response deeply, and I'm thankful for that analysis and that reflection on how it's a different experience in having legal representation that also is culturally competent and also has a connection with you, even if you don't know that person personally. The fact that there's a deeper connection, based on some similar experiences and lived experiences, right? I think is key. And thank you for explaining that. So another question that I have, because the Black Arts District and the Black Artist Fair itself is designed to support our creative community, right? Our artists, our entertainers, our makers, and the larger creative community, especially those who are Black folks in Baltimore. I'm curious, with the Justice Connection referral program, is there certain types of legal issues that you all don't work with or don't represent? Like, is it specific to particular kinds of law, or does it run the gamut?
Look, Black lawyers do it all, right? And one of the most amazing parts of building Justice Connection has really been learning about all of the different types of law that Black people are practicing, right? So it's everything. It's startups, it's entrepreneurs, it's trademarks, it's intellectual property, it's mergers and acquisitions, it's franchise, it's cybersecurity, right? And it's not always, hey, when I get to ... right? When I become ... when I reach that level ... It's the journey part also that is really critical for us to be able to begin to have that legal counsel. Because we often think like, hey, it's too early on to, get a lawyer. That's sort of fussy, right? I don't need that just yet. And you may not need a lawyer, and you probably don't need a lawyer for the long-term sort of retainer and having them to call just in case, right? But being able to have someone to check in and say, hey, right, this is where I'm at. This is the type of work I'm doing. This is the type of experiences. And trust, a good business lawyer is going to know what kind of questions to ask you to be able to solicit information that will help them really be able to analyze and best sort of be able to process how to advise you. But it is being able to get that advice from someone who can say, you know, hey, based on where you're at, these are things you might want to look for. You might want to have an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. You may want to be able to have your own sort of vendor contract that is ready and to go based on what it is that you normally do.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. So another question that I had is there, like, I know for some referral programs, there's like a upfront cost that you have to pay, like I guess to retain the service or whatever. How does cost work for Justice Connection?
So I don't really Justice Connection doesn't get into the like, what does a lawyer cost as far, because every lawyer is different, really. There's a range, and it really just depends on what it is that you are looking for, right? So it could be that you are at a place where you need a large law firm to handle many different issues, and you're merging with a major corporation or working on something that with Google, and you need somebody who, but it also may, quite frankly, be, especially for most of us, where you're able to connect with somebody who's at a boutique firm or small firm, solo practitioners. Most Black lawyers have their own shop, right? Most of us aren't on Pratt Street and so forth. Most of us have our own shop, and therefore they're also more able to shift their pricing, their fee, right? Depending on, some of them have payment plans, depending on if it's a longer sort of process. So it really depends on what it is that meets your needs, right? As a creative, as a business owner, and then being able to sort of match yourself up with the lawyer who works for you, right? Who works for your budget, who works for your personality, who works for the expertise and the experience that it is that you're looking for.
Okay, got you. That sounds great. And I appreciate the flexibility of it all, and you all really just serving as sort of a matchmaker, especially for those of us that, one, appreciate shopping Black, right? Supporting Black enterprises, no matter how they show up, right? And so this includes the legal field as well. And again, for those of us who, like you said, are more comfortable with representation from folks who have that cultural competence, who come from the same kind of upbringing as we do. So I appreciate you sharing all this information about Justice Connection. I appreciate you being here as a presenter for the Black Artists Fair Resource Hub. Is there any last comments that you want to leave for our listeners today?
I would just encourage folks to just connect with us, right? Like, if you don't want to say, like, you're like, what she said sounded good, but I'm not ready to get a lawyer, then at least connect with Justice Connection, right? So that you have sort of, we put out legal information, legal insight. We bring out our lawyers and showcase them. It's a place where Black lawyers are celebrated, and Black lawyers want to share their specialty, their information. And so we're always doing things like Ask Me Anything. I have a Black lawyer roundtable, and just wanting to make sure that we're providing information that meets the needs of folks. So we can always do something maybe that is around the creative, right? And what do creatives in particular need to think about as it relates to protecting themselves and availing themselves of the law. So just, encouraging folks to follow us on social, on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, or to subscribe on our website. We only send a newsletter like once a month to just kind of plug you in. And if you need anything and want to talk further, then my email address is available, and I'm happy to be of service.
All right. So as she mentioned, make sure you all reach out on social media or email at info@justiceconnection.com. Thank you so much, Keisha, for coming here today, and enjoy the beautiful weather outside. I see you all up in nature. So enjoy yourself today. Okay.
Thanks. Take care.
Take care. All right, everyone. So we are just about at the end of our resource hub, but I will be remiss if I didn't announce what is coming up next for the rest of the day. So we also had our artist labs. They've been taking place simultaneously with our resource hub. So I hope that folks have enjoyed themselves with the visual arts class, the singing lessons, the dance classes, all of the things that have been happening. The last thing that we're going to be doing today to close out this jam-packed 3-day artist fair is we'll be screening Dark City, which is a documentary that is right now on Netflix celebrating Baltimore's creative community. And we're going to have a talk back with some of the artists who had the opportunity to put Dark City on or were featured in Dark City. And so we're going to have TT the artist, we're going to have Easy Jackson, Rufus Roundtree. We're going to have some amazing panelists talking with us about their experience curating and or featuring in Dark City. This is happening tonight, y'all. It's happening tonight at 4:30 p.m. And I want to make 5 p.m. It's right there at the bottom. 5 p.m. via Zoom. The Zoom link is right here. It would also be posted on Instagram, on Facebook, and on our Twitter page. And so make sure that you link in with any of them so that you can get the link. We are official Black Arts District on Instagram and on Facebook. We are the _official BAD on Twitter. So just make sure you connect with us so that you can get the link, or you can DM us if you can't find it for whatever reason, even though it's going to be posted everywhere. We'll make sure you send that link since it is a private channel on Zoom, but we're going to be watching it together and then doing that talk back. So I hope that you will stay tuned and check us out at 5 p.m. Again, I'm Lady Breon, and thank you for tuning in with us.